Hey everybody! I'll be getting started in about 5-10 minutes. Also, what's up, Raven Spirit? Welcome to the chat. Not gonna lie, I just default today most of the time. Uh, I'm making some tea. I'll be back in like 5, and we will get started. Girl, who came to my town last Thursday. God damn. It's true. Broken. I know. I know. Okay, let me go get ready. I will be back, and then we can do stream. Oh my god, I didn't expect all of you to actually show up for once. Usually, nobody gets a fucking link when I've been gone this long. Okay, okay. Yep. Hello, 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 everybody. Hope you've all been alright. The stream will be great. We'll be alright. It'll be a bit of a crazy shit show, but, I missed you guys. I've been away for far too long. Ice did? God damn, that sucks, Raven Spirit. Uh, I feel your pain a little bit. I mean, like, I'm obviously not in direct danger from them, but, they are up and around where, like, my fam lives, so I've been worrying. Enjoy the tea. What are we drinking? I'm actually not sure what I'm drinking. I have a real life friend who makes like various teas with various mixed herbs. I have no idea what's in this. It's just delicious. What? Global solidarity now? Not sure what you're saying there. But yeah, best of luck to you guys over there in America. Listen, guys, I'm gonna be pivoting a little bit. I obviously am gonna continue doing what I'm doing, but I'm not gonna continue warning you all day after day of like, this is what ICE is doing today. Here's the new horrors. Uh, you've all heard my case. Like you've heard me tell you what is happening. I want to talk more about what we should be doing instead of screaming warnings that everyone who's going to listen to has already listened to. And beyond that, like I'm getting tired of the people that are so far behind that it feels insulting when like they're not doing it on purpose. It just feels insulting when I have to explain like basic fundamentals that I talked about a year ago to somebody as if it's new to them now. Can I come to YouTube? Oh, absolutely, you can come to YouTube. Here is the YouTube link. Ideally, guys, please drop a like on the YouTube stream as well. I've been banned off Twitch twice already, so being a hermit has worked so far. No Gestapo's at my door. Well, for now, it won't keep working forever because you're here and they can see that you're here. Welcome, welcome to YouTube, Ray. I should add you as a mod on both because guys get mod. So, before we actually continue on with the show, I have a couple of things I want to talk about. So, as all of you know, Discord will be requiring age verification this, um, and that's going to be giving your ID directly to the Antichrist. I have now almost finished setting up a Matrix server for us. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the sub, Walker Steel. I love you guys. I've missed you guys. It's been too long. So Matrix is functionally one-to-one the same as Discord. It's actually better in a lot of ways. However, best part is I own the server that it's hosted out of. It is hosted from a virtual private server out of a country that is a real country with real privacy laws. I own it, and if, let's say, there was a subpoena for records, I would be the one that's obligated to hand over those records. However, by law, I'm not obligated to keep any records. So there's nothing to hand over. So once that's ready, obviously there will be some things that are, already necessary. But like, for example, ID verification. I don't need to ID verify you guys for my Matrix channel. That's not a thing that's legally required. But let's say they did make it one. Let's say they did. Well, I spent several hours, just like the other day, reading into ID verification law, both in the US, both in Canada, Australia, and the EU. And it turns out, very contrary to what you might think when we look at all of the big tech companies around, both European and Australian law, which are the ones that are relevant here because American and Canadian law don't really touch on this as much, legally obligate me as the server host to hold as little data as possible. In fact, not just as little data as possible, but let's say if you had to ID verify with me, specifically to not keep any record of ID. So how would that work? It would be end-to-end encrypted, direct peer-to-peer call, as in not over the internet. We're calling each other through like a local line on a video call. And then you just show me an ID next to your face. And then all I have to do is keep a randomized cryptographic audit trail. So a randomized number for the first one, client randomized number, and then that number grows one every time, dash date, dash time, dash yes verified or no. That's all I have to keep ID wise, if I even have to, and which, to be clear, I don't, to just switch us over from Discord to Matrix. Now Matrix, we're building it, we're still going and learning. It's gonna require some upgrades for us to have more, let's say, storage space, more RAM for us to be able to run like group video chats, but for secure communications, it is the best you're gonna get. What's up, Shoji? Hello, this is my friend Shoji. Demi-boy, bisexual, polyamorous, no, Jesus, those are a lot of words. What's up, Shoji? I'm just call you Shoji. Well, I guess I'm deleting my Discord account? Yeah, well, not yet, Simply Steve. Wait until we're ready to provide the logins for that, because we still have to finish building it. It's gonna take a goddamn minute. There's just so much shit to remember, Soji. No offense. I swear to God. It's just easier for me to default to like they, them for everybody, because I talk to too many people. But yeah, I will give you guys access once I have that set up. Now, there's a lot of stuff I could be talking about today. And there's a lot of stuff that I've specifically chosen to not talk about today. Because, well, realistically, I was supposed to come back to streaming yesterday. But when I woke up and I looked at, like, the news, I did my normal bit where I get ready. I hadn't looked at the news for like a week and a half. I had some personal shit. And I just felt such intense rage and contempt at the level of nonsense and like unimportant shit that people are talking about and mad about, that I just I didn't stream yesterday because I didn't want to just make the show me being a bitch to you guys. So we tried again the next day. So some news sites are saying Discord might not do it because of the backlash. Sucks to be them. To be fair, like they've already pretended to move off of where is it, Persona, which is the Palantir linked ID verification thing, off to some other one, but it's just like another one. What platform would you suggest moving from Discord to? I want to keep close friends. Matrix, what I was just talking about. Like Matrix, you can self-host. You can have a virtual private server. You can host it in there. You can host it, I mean, like on your own computer if you want to. You can use their base elements, which is just like slower. I am setting it up in a way that like the server owner is me. I'm the server administrator. It is outside of the 14 eyes, and it's all perfectly legal. So Discord fucked up. They can back out all they want. They stepped over the line that people aren't willing to take. It's the same thing with Microsoft, chat. Yeah, absolutely. It's the same thing with Microsoft. Microsoft is dying. That's why they're trying to kill Linux right now. Because people have had enough. It doesn't matter if you back out when everyone is mad at you for the thing you just tried to do. You still tried to do the thing. Hey, what's up, Zachap? Good to see you. Everybody who may not know, Zachap is a friend of the channel and a fantastic streamer on Twitch, so go and drop them a follow. So like I said, we're not going to talk about some of the stuff, but I do have a bunch of random shit that I want to cover. First and foremost, happy Ramadan to any of my viewers that may be Muslim. I have seen some funny shit coming up this Ramadan. For one, this, as a direct reaction to Christian nationalism, seems to be popping off in the States.
Ni hao salam alaikum. It's the first day of Lunar New Year and the first evening of Ramadan. Everybody needs to get more Chinese immediately, and then we're going to Islam.
I'd keep playing, but that's going to be copyrighted music. But I find that hilarious. Ni hao, what was it? Ni hao salam alaikum. Like, love it. Alhamdulillah. Oh yeah, Ramadan is always great. What's up, Maddie? There's so much positive content that comes out on Ramadan, and I want to show you guys some of this because I've been seeing trends like this, of just like white dudes in America being like, you know what? I just want to kind of try Ramadan, and then they find out a lot of stuff that they didn't know. Also, like, again, I'm not religious. Personally, I like taking like part in Ramadan when I can sometimes. The whole point of it, as explained in like their religion, is it's supposed to teach you empathy. That's kind of the whole point of Ramadan. It's learn what it feels like to be a homeless person, and then you'll care for your community more. It's kind of, I'm simplifying it, but it's kind of the whole meaning of where that comes from. But so seeing stuff like this has just been like nice. I don't know. We look at so much horrific shit every day that it's nice to look at. My friend is Muslim, so she'll have me come over time with her and sometimes to her community center. Hell yeah, I hope you get invited to Iftar. What's up, Silas?
Mosque. I was wondering if I could do
Ramadan.
Ramadan.
I believe in human empathy.
And you guys were like, yeah, just pull up to a mosque and ask. So I texted one in the local area, and he said, you could come today. So, same day delivery, I guess. Let's go. Here's the fit. I don't have that many long sleeves, so hopefully this is cool. I got my Crocs, because y'all said you gotta take your shoes off.
And so dressed appropriately.
Pull up in the Crocs.
I've only been in a couple
mosques. Since my page is really just about trying new things, and this is a religious thing, we're gonna view this through the lens of religion, and we're gonna learn about Islam the whole time we're doing this. So, let's go. Google is saying that on Friday they have Juma, which is the Friday congressional prayer that all men have to go to. So I think that's what I'm being invited to.
Low-key, bro, I'm nervous. I feel awkward about going because, like, I'm not Muslim right now. So it's like, I'm trying to practice
that's a fear that a lot of people have. Turns out, yeah, no, there is no reason not to. Because, he gets told no, just, like, call the mosque. And then they invite him over. The next video is an unboxing Islam video. It's very funny. Isn't, Jama the mosque? I didn't listen to where he was living, but might be. Jami, yes. Yes, it depends on the language. In Turkish, it's Jami. In some other languages, there's various ways of saying it. Like, Arabic even doesn't sound the same, depending on what country you're in.
Assalamu alaikum and wa alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, assalamu alaikum. But I'm probably not going to talk first, so I actually need to know the other one. Wa alaikum assalam.
I like
Yo, this place is massive. I ain't gonna film inside though. I'm gonna just pull up and let y'all know how it goes.
By the way, like, I just like this dude is so wholesome. The respectfulness of it, like I'm not gonna film inside, blah blah blah. But here is the second part of this video. I have a few funny like Ramadan videos. I have a really cute one of a cat too. But the next one is of like a literal nurse. This one's from a year ago. This was her experience. Like people, this is all about community. It's less about like the Ramadan experience. I'm just using it as like a channel to move the positivity forward.
The mosque. Turns out they're the largest mosque in the southeast. That place was massive. I'm not joking. But I got there like at 1, but I don't think the thing started till 2:15. So not even gonna lie, bro. First thing they did when I got there was dap me up and say assalamu alaikum, and I like was like trying to remember my shit back. I was like alaikum assalam, like wa alaikum assalam. Yeah. And let me add, when I got there, Brother Muhammad started showing me around and whatnot. And
this man is halfway done already. He's like, Brother Muhammad, mate, you have halfway converted.
Throwing the books and whatnot. But also when I got there was some lady that they had to call the police on because she was making threats to them for being Muslims. I was like, that's crazy. And they said she pops up all.
Oh, Shoji, if it's 1 in the morning for you, I mean, like the VOD will always be up on the YouTube page, like whenever. So feel free to come back and watch it and like have a good night. You don't have to stay up for this. I don't even really know what I'm doing today. I've been gone for like a week and a half. I don't want to cover the real news because it's all stupid, and so we're just gonna be like talking about what we can be doing right now. We're gonna talk about like, I don't know, philosophical concepts. I just want to like ease back into this, but also I don't want to do the same shit we've been doing for the last year, because that's not helped many people. He is one granny away from being married into the family. Yeah, literally.
All the time, and that she's just genuinely like tweaked out. And I talked with the imam, whatever, and he gave me a Quran, which I started reading. Very insightful. And then he gave me this, which is the 5 fundamentals of Islam. Talim ul Haq.
Unboxing Islam.
They're translated to English because obviously that's where I'm at. Then he gave me a calendar for like, let me read it. Yeah, he told me all about it, whatever. He gave me like a Ramadan calendar. So I got all the times for each day of the month between the first day and the last day. So that's cool. They had food over there, but I didn't stop to eat it because I'm trying to cut right now. I don't want to eat more food, but I might get some next time. And he says they're serving
the
daily iftar.
Of doing Ramadan just to figure it out while you're trying to lose weight.
Dinner will be served during the month of Ramadan. Yeah, I was watching everybody pray, bro. I was sitting in the back. I don't know. He was saying something in Arabic up front. Obviously, I didn't understand it. But then everybody would reply back with something. And I'm talking, this was like a huge echo chamber. So when they did, bro, it sounded like the Halo theme song. This shit was like low-key cool as fuck. I was like, yo, that's crazy. Like the acoustics in there was crazy.
Dying. But like, this is what I mean. This is why I wanted to show this video in particular. Because it's very interesting when you see this kind of dude being like, I'm gonna go try and do Ramadan just to like learn. That's wild. The Halo theme song, I know, it's adorable, and it's also nice. I'm pretty sure doing this is not gonna make your paycheck any bigger or your bills any lower. I've literally lost $12,000 last year. I don't get a paycheck. I work for Simply Steve. That's also why I now offer some not safe for work content. I can't tell you where to acquire it, but you can DM me, not on Twitch or YouTube, just somewhere else if you want some more info on that. But continuing on.
He gave me a calendar. So I got this Arabic calendar. It's got the prayer times on it and whatnot. So that's pretty tight. I'll tell you, but that place was massive. It was cool. So, you know, get sturdy with it here. That's how it went. And as I was reading the Quran, I understand why they call it a revert instead of a convert. Because they believe that everybody is born Muslim, but then society, you know, sends you away from it. So when you...
Oh, I mean, like, it ain't about money. The whole point of Ramadan, again, has nothing to do with that. The practice of Ramadan, in the religious sense, is to teach people empathy. That's, like, what it says. I've read all of the books. I don't believe in any of them. I'm an atheist, but that's the point of Ramadan. It's to feel what it's like to go without food or water for the whole day and be starving until you're allowed to eat again. And to do that as part of a community. And that's the other part of it. That's the part about Ramadan that's quite nice, is because usually in these cases, the whole community eats dinner together because they've all been starving all day. And most of them don't have like time or energy to cook. And so people donate food to like the local mosque, or like you just have like a party and a bunch of people like bring little bits, and then it's just communal eating. We're already starving every day, and so are our kids. Okay, and some people aren't. Why are you upset about Ramadan? Like I'm genuinely trying to understand here. Like you would think that we're starving every day, and so are our kids. So the practice of people who aren't starving feeling that so that they can empathize with people like you and your kids would be a good thing. Like that's what I'm trying to say here. Does that make sense? Like it's not for you. It's for the people that don't know what that feels like, so that they can learn what that feels like and then empathize with it. I'll take food when my friends invite me. She cannot cook, so I'm like, yeah, low key food maker bringer. A lot of my friends are like that too. Like I have a lot of trouble cooking because I have chronic pain, and usually by the time I'm done with work, I have difficulty like making food, and then like people bring me food. Fasting is found in most religions of some sort. Well, like a lot of the time, it's used for like ritualistic practices. This one in particular, Ramadan in particular, I find to be wholesome because it's specifically about community building and empathy. That's the whole like point around it. Good in my hellscape? What's up, Alex Gallagher? I am trying to provide as much good as I can in the hellscape. I just don't see the point of it. Like I don't see the point of Christmas or Lent or Lunar New Year's. Well, I mean, first off, most of those initially are just like celebrations of, hey, we made it through the year. Like Christmas or Lunar New Year, both of them were like, I mean, they're both New Year's. Christmas was Saturnalia back in the day, and that was okay. We got through the harvest. Hell yes, like we're in it now. It was a party. It was a celebration. Lunar New Year also kind of that way. Lent I don't really understand, but I'm not Catholic. But like in this case, it's about teaching you a lesson. It's not about the practice itself. There's significant like lists of exceptions. Like for example, both of my parents aren't fasting this year, and they are Muslim, but they're old and they both have health conditions, so they're not required to. Lent is you just give up meat on Fridays? I mean, like Ramadan is like Lent if you aren't a coward? I guess so, yeah, because you do have to give up like swearing and smoking and chewing gum and drinking food, drinking water as well. Like, so like it's the same concept. The idea is deprive yourself of something that you regularly don't, so that you learn like some self-control and some like ability to identify that. Now, like obviously that's not how it's taught. Like I've lived in America most of my life, and I never learned that, and I grew up around a lot of Catholics. But, like, I've never heard Ramadan mentioned, and that not be made very clear what the point of it is, and the like, extent of the exceptions that there are for that. I guess the more you know, well, it's just literally about, like, learning stuff. I just want to do something more fun, rather than depressing. I just want to learn. And also, like, I can show you this now, after we talked about that. Imagine that being your fucking mosque. Like everyone around in like a several block radius is just hearing the meow in the middle of the fucking azan. I do that all the time. It's called kindness. I gave up something so one in need can have what they need. And that's the thing. That's what the point of Ramadan is. It's teaching people how to do that. Because a lot of people don't do that. Can you drop that link? Absolutely can drop that link. I'm going to play it again. more. No, damn, okay. We only got 2. It censored me saying holy kitten. What the fuck? Are you kidding? I do kindness towards Viz to avoid giving Proton money. Well, I mean, I'm happy to accept either, but I will say running the Matrix server is gonna cost me. If all of you pitched in like $1 a month, we could even upgrade the server so that there's more server space. We could run native VPN through it as well. Like, we can do a lot of shit. Obviously, I'm not asking you guys to like pitch it for funds yet. I'm going to show you what it looks like. I'm gonna bring you guys over there and convince you first. But I think you'll all like it a lot. At least it ended on the meow. I know. It like comes full circle, very least. Welcome back, Shoji. Basically our own internet? Yeah, kind of. Like Matrix functions like a LAN party. We're all on the same WAN network, essentially. Wait 2 months? I mean, I might not need to. I'm gonna try and show this to as many people as I can, because the more of us move off of any system or institution that we rely on that's part of the system is a win. That is the revolution, by the way. The revolution with, like, you know, the pew-pews is not useful. That just results in spinning the wheel all over again from the beginning. A real revolution is you just kind of live like the revolution already happened. Obviously within the span of reality, like you don't want to act as if it happened to the point where you get yourself killed, but you do just kind of want to build the systems that you would use within the system locally, outside of it. You know, I mean, being behind on my Proton bill. Oh, well, I mean, that works too. I don't pay for Proton. Fuck Proton, honestly. I would just stop paying them, Alex Gallagher. So, and then here's the other thing. The other part about Ramadan that I wanted to talk about, and that's the community part of it. And this is a video from last year of a nurse who did it, and this is like her experience afterward, and being invited over to iftar, and it's just like, it's the wholesome community aspect of this that I like as much.
So for suhoor, I had banana, 2 eggs,
Suhoor, by the way,
hash
is when you
brown,
wake up at 3 o'clock in the
protein
morning to
yogurt
eat,
shake, and a coffee
because the
and
sun's
water.
not up yet.
Good job.
So we're doing
Good job. 5 hours into your Ramadan fasting, how do you feel?
I'm ready to go. Those eggs, yeah.
All right, we're on
2
hour
hours later.
7 of Sarah fasting. How do you feel, Sarah?
I don't know if I'll survive this one. Up life a little bit. Let's get a little boring, you know?
What is that?
Like, this kind of stuff,
You got 20 more days.
it's
Oh,
good
not gonna
for
eat
you
an extra.
to look at food that you want occasionally when you're, you know, someone who's not starving by default, and to deny yourself it. It teaches you it. A lot of people don't know how to feel things. A lot of people just operate on an input-output dynamic. There is no internal thought. There's no struggle. Struggle is what's required for growth. This is, unironically, it's a small thing, but it results in growth. Welcome back, Raven.
Good job. Good job.
Why don't they give you an extra good one?
All right, we got 3 hours
Hold on.
left. How you feeling, Sarah?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm starting to feel a little dizzy, a little nauseous. But, gonna keep going. What we got?
Just to document, what time is it? All right.
We got 3 hours. Alright guys, we're almost there. We got about 2 hours and 20 minutes left.
Good
Let
job.
me show you what I got for my iftar. With a lovely spread.
Wait, hold on.
spread.
This is
We
not
got
the
the,
video for
hello.
getting invited to iftar afterward. This was her
This is your last-
experience the last day of Ramadan. Let me pull up the iftar one, because that is. Oh. Here. This is a repost. Whatever. You got the point. Like, the idea is self-growth by doing a difficult thing that you don't need to do just because you can do it. Islam is more chill about disabled people and fasting that Catholicism is wild. Well, to be fair, Islam is technically, if you believe in the religions, the third book in the series. It's the patch note. it's the like end of the series. It's the last book. So also, like, technically, you really think about it, Muslims only believe that Islam exists because Jesus was correct, and then Christians started lying about Jesus, so God had to send a patch note. And if you look at, I mean, like, the fact that everyone in the Epstein class is the same type of group with the same exact ideology as what Jesus was fighting against like 2,000 years ago, kind of makes a bit of sense as to why Muslims would believe that, oh yeah, we need to have a patch note. You know, they started lying about Jesus. And this whole thing was kind of, maybe we should stop eating babies and doing blood sacrifices and also get rid of private, property, like capital. Even though kindness gets you nothing but fucked over, I'd rather be kind and fucked over than shitting on top. Simply Steve. Like, literally, I would every single time choose kind and fucked over than not kind and fucking over someone else. I've let homeless people live in my house for 6 months knowing full well, like, some obviously I've just let live in my house, but like, in particular, I have one case in which I'm like, this chick is gonna rob me. I still let her live in my house for 6 months. She did rob me. I was correct. She didn't rob me for as much as I expected, but she still robbed me. Like, Mormons are technically less Judeo-Christian connected than Muslims are. Technically. No, they're literally less. The way to change that is not ending kindness, I guess. Yeah. But like, this is what happens when you end kindness. When you get into that state of giving up on kindness, despite the fact that it is required to take L's to be kind, then you get to a point where you're just comfortable with shit like this. We're gonna switch to Australian news a little bit. So One Nation, which is our far-right MAGA party, is climbing in the polls. My state in particular has a state election next month, and One Nation is now the highest they've polled, I think, historically in the state. They're at 25%. Labor still looks like they're going to win, but I mean, we have preferential voting. They're going to take some. But like, just to give you an understanding of what One Nation is like, Pauline Hanson's One Nation rehires convicted rapist to run federal election campaign. ABC News. Yeah, not ideal. Not the kind of thing you like. However, it's not surprising when we're talking about Pauline Hanson, a woman who took a $500,000 like mega yacht cruise with Gina Reinhardt, went to Mar-a-Lago, went begging for money from Trump, stuff like that. You know, like, it's stuff that you would expect. Also, really, really not that surprised at the Americanization of this country when stuff like this. Trump signed a deal to have a Trump Tower on the Gold Coast. Now, first off, if you have read any of the interesting little files, then you know that this is a money laundering operation. And if you know anything about Australia, you know that the mob is pretty fucking big here. Friendly Jordy's had his house firebombed for exposing the mob. This is just another way to launder money. Like, there's a video on YouTube, I think it was Boy and Friendly Jordy's did together, where they walked into a casino in Australia and with t-shirts wearing, like, they were wearing all shirts that said, "I am laundering money." And they walked in with $10,000 in cash. And turned out this was a casino where it was, like, you tap a card, and all of the money's on the card. So you just kind of sit there, and you tap your card for your account, and then you feed $100 bills into the machine. They took 4 hours of sitting at the slot machine, just feeding it bills. Spun it once, went to the counter, gave their card, "I'd like to check out," got all of their money back and a receipt. That money can now get put in a bank account because it has a receipt. It's unreasonably easy to launder money in this country. And the way that these hotels work, not just Trump, it's Hyatt does this too, like, they all do this. It's the hotel is owned and operated by someone private, but they pay a 3% commission to put like the Trump name on. So Trump kind of just gives 3% off the side, and someone else owns and operates it, and then there's layers and layers of accountability that's taken. Of course, it had to be the tallest tower too. I mean, not like there's much of that. Like, there's not too many really tall towers like on the Gold Coast, but like I suppose it is. Yeah, more than Melbourne, I would say. So yeah, of course, why not? We are talking about Trump after all. All right, now can you tell me what the fuck this is? This is the most disgusting shit I've ever seen. And if you eat this, I just need you to raise your hand. I promise no one will get mad at you, but I am permabanning if you would eat this.
Hey, I've got pepperonis and Parmesan cheese.
If you can guess everything that comes after this, you need to go buy a lottery ticket because the chances of winning are about the same.
A little black pepper. Garlic powder is good for you. See them babies? Them is sardines, preserved lemon.
You've eaten crazier?
Smell.
I don't know how that exists.
Anybody would like them right there.
Not me.
Now then, I'm gonna do some cottage cheese.
Any ideas on why I got tagged so much?
Now look at that. Cayenne pepper on there, just a little bit, not no whole lot. You don't want a bunch on there.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, you wouldn't want to ruin this.
Old Bay on there. Get you some that's got the mother in it. See, that's the mother.
Kind of fitting since I feel like calling my mother right now.
I got me some celery leaves.
Well,
Both were way better than this. I would eat a beehive over this.
at least we're getting our greens, I guess.
Now, this is what makes it good. This is what makes it a smoothie.
Remember what I said at the beginning of the video? Looks like no one's buying a ticket.
Got that much. Got that much banana. Now she's a banana fish split. Hear me?
Oh, I heard. Trust me, here.
A banana fish split is a way to put that. YouTube is censoring the fuck out of me tonight. I'm not even saying bad things. What the fuck? Sorry, yo. Everything is a lot worse now. Everywhere. Liam equals love. Cool. This guy is a trucker. It explains everything. I mean, yeah, it does. But, like... Nader Hunter, yeah, I've definitely eaten crazier, but, like, that was a different thing. Yeah, this isn't eating something crazy. This isn't food. Survival, evasion, resistance, escape, trading is it. Yeah, this is exactly. This isn't food. This is what you scavenge in Fallout in the wasteland to not die. It looks like someone just started spinning a wheel of random ingredients on it. I feel like there's rads coming off of this.
It's not the problem.
You stir all that up.
You probably think we're done, right? Nope.
A little bit of salsa. Little job
Salsa.
right there. Now that's gonna be banana split salsa fish. And if you ain't never had that,
Peter, you and I are the first humans in all of history to have this.
Walker Steel, you know what? I respect the willingness to try it, even though you wouldn't like it. This would kill me. I'm allergic to fish, so I can't eat it, and thank fuck for that. What the fuck is that? An atrocity, in my personal opinion. We have a few of those to cover, but like in the less serious ways. Some good news. Good news, not for you Americans, but for people who hate price gouging corporations and supermarkets, whether you are, going to be impacted by this or not, I feel like it's going to make you a bit happy. Kohl's, one of the two major supermarkets in this country that owns 70% of the entire market, is in a lot of trouble because of TikTok.
It was one of those TV jingles that got stuck in our heads. The reworked status quo hit relentlessly, telling us at Coles prices were down. Well, today the supermarket giant was in court defending claims that very campaign deceived Australian shoppers with bogus discounts.
It's being billed as the consumer case of the century with millions of dollars at stake. And as Sam Butler reports, it was influencers, TikTokers, social media posters who first raised the alarm.
He's the content creator.
As in,
calling out
this is one of the
supermarket
reasons
price
that, yeah, this is
gouging.
Coles.
The behaviors that supermarkets have when it comes
They don't
to
want you to have the
increasing
ability to just share info like this, because it results in shit like this.
pricing and telling us it's a discount is abhorrent.
But he never thought his TikTok videos would help trigger one of the biggest consumer court battles in Australian history.
But now hearing that this is potentially going to cost Coles millions of dollars if they are found to be doing the wrong thing is mind.
Paniora Nuku began posting online during the pandemic.
Look how much corned beef costs.
Same product 14 months later.
So the main reason why I did that.
Yeah, you guys have Kohl's in America with the K, and that's a department store. We don't have that. And Nader Hunter, yeah, it tracks that Sarah would be fucking hard. That sounds hard.
Video around corned beef and that increase in an already expensive price tag for a staple item was to illustrate and showcase how far supermarkets are willing to go to try and, in my opinion,
So two different companies named Kohl's both got in trouble for the same
Posts
thing.
that helped tip off Australia's consumer watchdog, the ACCC, which today began landmark legal action against Coles in the federal court, claiming shoppers were misled. With fake discounts over 15 months in 2022 and 2023.
Over 15 months. Like, understand, 70% of the increase in food costs globally since the pandemic are literally solely driven by corporate price gouging. 70% of the total increase of cost of food is corporate price gouging globally. Now in America, it gets a little different because you guys have like tariffs in addition to that, but like for most of the world. Oh, the judges don't look like they're dressed for Christmas. I'm legit disappointed. Makes sense. I had 4 years of college, flight school, post-grad in the U.S. Naval War College, and Sarah was the most demanding physically and mentally adult. Well, I mean, yeah, it's the one where you actually have to survive. The one where they weed out the weak ones.
The consumer case of the century. Millions of consumers, hundreds of millions of dollars.
I demand our Supreme
all
Court
over
dress like
Australia.
wizards.
The consumer watchdog claims Coles jacked up prices on hundreds of...
Why did stores all over the world decide to do this at the same time? Because they had a excuse in the pandemic and the logistical issues that caused. And at the time, they doubled the prices of what would have been required to account for the pandemic, and then they just kept raising them. Because they just kept saying, oh, it's still the pandemic, it's still that, it's still this, the supply chains never recovered, and just kept driving the prices up.
Products. The court case is focusing on 12. Take a box of Strepsils, for example. The original price was $5.50. After 640 days, it was increased to $7, then reduced 28 days later during a down-down promotion. The discounted price was $6, which is still 9% higher than the original. In another example, YoPro yogurt went from $6 to $7.80 before being reduced to $6.70.
If proven, it's misleading, deceptive, unlawful.
I do like that I still live in a real country, even though we are a colony of the United States and are slowly degrading. But for now, I do take some joy in that.
And very poor conduct indeed, given the huge number of people involved, rich and poor, knowledgeable and unknowledgeable, and unable to discern the truth. Many...
Not to mention the fact that I actually cited the wrong number. I said 70% of the market is owned by Kohl's and Woolworths. It's actually 82% between Kohl's and Woolworths of the entire supermarket industry is controlled by these two corporations in Australia. Aldi is number 3rd.
Consumers thought they were getting a bargain when they were being ripped off. That's the allegation.
Which is why I'm very happy that the ACCC is taking steps to bring these people into the limelight and be like, you cannot operate like this in Australia. You need to fix this, you need to fix this now.
Coles is defending the claims, arguing the price rises were justified due to inflation hammering...
See? That's what I said, Fever Blossom. It's the inflation because of the pandemic. No. They caused the inflation that they are using as a citation to further cause more inflation.
defending the claims, arguing the price rises were justified due to inflation hammering suppliers and a surge in global commodity prices. At the time of the alleged deception, inflation was at a 30-year high.
Surge of global commodity prices, says, from Australia, where the Australian dollar has been gaining value in relation to the American dollar for a year now, considering the US dollar is down 12% comparatively to gold in 2025 and has continued to drop since. Australian profits are rising. Like, yeah, no, you're full of shit. Like, Coles is full of shit. Every corp is full of shit.
The stakes are high for both sides in this case. If Coles loses, it could face fines into the hundreds of millions of dollars, with the potential.
Oh, okay, so no stakes, because they literally got fined billions a couple years ago. Whatever. At least they're being investigated. So you guys want to see the funniest thing that I've ever seen? But both the funniest and the dumbest thing that I've ever seen. I found out that this exists this morning. And I seriously am questioning us as a civilization and whether we are deserving of continuing life on this planet now. Here is the global Chad rankings list. And first off, I don't really know how to read this. It changes by ELO and by win rate. But the Pope, Abraham Lincoln, and Osama bin Laden, this shit's been moving. Will Stansel, Timothy Chalamet going up and down here, MLK Gavin News. It's interesting. But it gets wild when you click from ELO to win rate. Because the last time I saw, it was between, oh, okay. George Floyd has been #1 on win rate every time I've opened the page. But last time I opened the page, Osama bin Laden was leading Hitler. Will Stansel, a law's strongest liberal? That's true. What the fuck is this list? What is this list? Global Chad rankings by win rate. George Floyd #1, Hitler 2, Bin Laden 3, Epstein is 5? What are we doing as a species? What are we doing as a species? What are they winning against? What's the losses? Like, win-loss, 75% win rate. What do you mean? What's the loss? Chads are looked down on, not George Floyd. George Floyd belongs on this list. The Pope? Will Stansel? Wait, it changed again. We got Arnold Schwarzenegger. Just jumped over Abraham Lincoln and the Pope. The spice melange. You're not wrong. I mean, we are kind of... We're headed down that road. Look, you want to know what a real alpha looks like? A real chat? It looks like this.
You've played Flavio 3 times and you've had success with him all 3 times. Why is it that you have had such success against Sebastian?
He's a good-looking guy, so, you know.
That's a real chat. The like person who is interviewing accidentally said, "Oh, you had sex with him so many times," and he didn't feel shame. Which Pope? It's the last Pope, not the current one. Successful sex with Flavio, yeah. He's had sex with him all 3 times. But, like, you see how this gives off, I don't know, non-pussy energy, not little bitch energy? Why isn't Ernest 49 on that list? Because the people who write that list don't know who that is, and also are generally right. I don't know how George Floyd is on that list.
You've played Flavio 3 times and you've had success with him all 3 times. Why is it that you have had such success against Sebastian?
He's a good-looking guy, so, you know.
That's a Sigma dude, yeah. W that dude. Successfully had sex with him 3 times. Speaking of sex, well, speaking of dates, I've decided from now on, regardless, if anyone wants to ask me out on a date, I now have a requirement first. This is the requirement to ask me on a date. Doesn't guarantee you a yes, but to ask.
Guys have been asking about how they get in on the thing. And there is a pathway, and it's not just patreon.com. 1,000 flock safety cameras is the minimum bounty. Okay, so
There you have it. That's the minimum bounty for me to go on a date with anybody. I will, if you bring me that bounty somehow, I mean, I'm not going to tell you how, I'm not even going to say you should do it. I would actually go as far as saying you should not do it. But if you want to go on a date with me, you will need to do so. Ah, jeez. Acceptable terms in this day and age? Not gonna lie, like, yeah, it is. Anything less than 90 equals? No. 1,000. That's the bounty. If you want anything less than that, then you're gonna have to DM me and ask for it, and I will tell you. But if you want to go on a date with me, it's 1,000. 1,001? That's a date. Anything above doesn't like give you extra. There's no extra credit. Well, better get to work. I do not advocate for this. I specifically think you shouldn't do that. Why does it feel illegal? Because it is. That's why I'm saying don't do that. But it is going to be the requirement to ask me out on a date. But you still should not do illegal things. You know what else is really wild and should be illegal? We had Rails. I thought we forgot to install those. We uninstalled the last of them, Anarchist Tech Support. I no longer give a fuck. Except about the people who are already here. I'm not trying to, like, save the people who are currently arguing about whether it's a good idea to vote for Gavin Newsom or not in 2028 against JD Vance. I don't care. I'm done with that one. I'm going to sleep. Have a good day/night, everybody. Have a lovely night, Shoji. Off the rails, though. You know what's significantly off the rails? This is one of the most insane things that I've like, obviously I knew this, but for them to say it like this, wild. We had the US ambassador to Israel openly say that he is in support of Greater Israel. That's an endorsement. That's an official endorsement. And that's not a small thing. That's not just like a congressman saying that. Like, here, let's take a listen.
He's a business guy there. It could be amazing.
Completely agree. I think the core question is the map. For thousands of years, it's been about the land. What does the map look like? Who controls what? And it's clearly had a destabilizing effect on some of the poorer, more populated countries in
No
there,
doubt.
specifically Jordan and Egypt. 100 million people in Egypt. I think it might be helpful for everybody if there was just a clear picture of when this is all done, here's what we want the map to be, and then we can debate that. Do you have any sense of what the map would look like from Israel's perspective?
When you say the map, you mean what? What country?
No, not only is it a call to violence, Latino Ufune, do you know what Greater Israel is? Like, on a map? Just listing off the official US allies on this map. Egypt, Jordan, Turkey, the second largest military in NATO, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the UAE, to a lesser degree, Syria and Iraq, where we have puppet governments. This is several official US allies that were just like, nah, like, fuck them. Is that Witkoff? Yeah, it is. It is the ambassador to Israel, Steve Witkoff, endorsing that. That is not a small thing. That's a big fucking deal.
Okay, so Israel's moved into Lebanon and Syria. They're not part of Israel, but they control them. So when all this is over...
This is an ambassador. Huckabee is the ambassador to Israel. Huckabee also said it, but this is Witkoff confirming it. The Huckabee one is like a week ago. But like, we've now had two U.S. like officials. You're right. My apologies about Huckabee and fucking Witkoff. Witkoff is the one that does Ukraine, but also likes to hang around Israel because him and Jared Kushner are the ones getting rich off of the Gaza reconstruction. And Huckabee is the one that's literally like the death cultist and fully believes in everything. But they're both saying the same thing. Like, regardless, the point still remains.
What does the Israeli government
These are 2 U.S. ambassadors.
hope to control? And then if that were clear, then I think people would say, they could either live with it or they can't, but it would have a calming effect if people knew what the goal was.
So I would say
Trump doesn't send Witkoff everywhere. Kushner brings Witkoff with him everywhere. They're crime buddies.
the goal begins with how do we deal with Iran? That's the biggie.
Yeah.
So the first.
Well, speaking of Iran, obviously they want to bomb Iran. We've been bringing shit over there to bomb Iran for a while. You guys have seen the amount of stuff we have off the coast of Iran right now. It is pretty wild. Hell, we even have that CIA dude who makes like TikToks who's allowed to say the things that like they've given him permission. Like, you can out that one. Even he's talking about it. But basically, right now, if you look at what we have 6 E3 AWACS, 12 F-22s, 24 F-15Es plus A-10 Squadron, 48 F-16s, 30 F-35As, 6 EA-18Gs, 5 E-11A, 3 RC-135 SIGINTs, 50 KC-135 and KC-46 tankers, 300 C-17s, 2 carrier strike groups, 5 guided missile destroyers. This is this amount of shit hasn't been in the region since we invaded Iraq. It's either the Iraq invasion or like Desert Storm since that time period. Iran, the country that considers nuclear weapons to be an insult to God, we have to prevent them from building nuclear weapons, which the CIA and Mossad and CIA agree isn't even happening. I mean, look, the real reason we're doing this is Holden Bloodfeast, Republican from Iowa. Please, God, just let us nuke Iran. Nothing else matters. I'll do anything. Just want to see burning flesh one last time before I die. Respectable bipartisan. This is why we're bombing Iran. This is the only reason we're bombing Iran. Well, this, and because the MIC needs infinite war to continue siphoning money from you. That's also why we're a slave to Israel. It's because Israel is the MIC in a trench coat, and everything in this list that gets destroyed, we just buy a new one. And that's the point. Just buy new things. Their friends get rich, you pay for it. My friend Soji said he loves you and he'll be back. Tells you gorgeous. Aw, thank you. Tell Soji that he's awesome. So, yeah, but that's why we're invading Iran. Also, U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff warned Iran could be 1 week away from producing nuclear weapons. Netanyahu has been saying this for a decade. Can't afford to send some used Humvees to Ukraine, though. Too expensive. It's not that it's too expensive. It's that the Russians have fully infiltrated the deep state. Like, Tulsi Gabbard, director of DNI. Look, the Russians have infiltrated the country so deeply that they already have their plan for when we temporarily go back to liberalism. So all the liberals go back to brunch and none of the stuff gets undone. They even have the sacrificial lambs. It's Witkoff and Kushner, the two who made it very obvious that they were acting on Russia's behalf. It's not going to be John Ratcliffe and Tulsi Gabbard, who are both in the intelligence agency. John Ratcliffe being head of CIA, Tulsi being head of DNI, who have both been on Russian state media, who are both being rizzed by Russian state media. Talked about, like, Budanov is talking about how he loves them all the time. That's not what's going to happen. Those are going to get left behind. They're going to stay. They're going to be quiet, and then they're going to keep spying, and they're going to keep fucking up the country, even if we win, because, well, there is no winning. The only way we win is if we get through this without having to rely on electoralism. This is why I say the real revolution isn't pew pew. It's not voting. It's just building the shit that you need to exist, the systems that you engage with in your day-to-day life locally, in a way that you don't rely on the system for. And then that way, they can't take it from you. And if they do, you can just build a new one. In other news, I believe just yesterday or this morning, we had another Trump supporter try and kill the president. This one was specifically mad about the Epstein files. Again, like, don't do this. In fact, I have a proposal of what we should do about the Epstein files. I think you guys will like it. I'm so confident about this borderline Feb post that I put it on Twitter. I hope the president sees it. I think he'll like this idea because it's a little controversial. But, you know, the Epstein files are evil. Evil is unmistakable. Now, I'm thinking, how about we take everyone named as a non-victim in the files and we put them back on the island. We turn all of the cameras on that island to a live broadcast. And we tell them that one person gets to leave that island alive. Now, our host will be the president, of course. He's going to be the host. No attacking him. Zero, like, I don't care. He can have Navy SEALs guarding him, carrying bulletproof glass on their backs. He is Caesar from the Hunger Games. He's going to be the host of the full show. I think he would actually do a brilliant job in that role. We don't tell everyone on the island that the one person that gets to go off the island is the host. Not Lord of the Flies. It's the Epstein game. We're just going to put them back on the island. We're going to put a couple caches in there, put some cameras on, and we have our lovely host who is unable to be targeted, and will personally talk about his friends killing each other as he gets to escape with no consequences personally. But then again, I don't really care about him facing. He's gonna die natural causes in like a month or two. The man hasn't golfed since January 18th. If he doesn't golf in the next 2 weeks, he's just gonna die from that, from depression. So, you know what? I'm okay with this. Let him escape all accountability, but he hosts the games and all of the other ones we get to watch. There was another one in Rhode Island. They're everywhere. Like, we know, like Epstein's Island was Little St. James. There's also Great St. James. There's also Prospera. There was Red Fox Island. They're fucking all over the place. Evil guys get super old? Yeah, but evil ones with frontotemporal dementia, ones that continuously shit themselves, and specifically are kind of only alive because of an HVAC system, with the single joy left in their life of golfing. Yeah, no, they don't last all that long. As a golfer, the only reason to stop is because death's knocking. Well, there you go. Take it from a golfer. I've never golfed. But yeah, don't kill the president. But yeah, this was a Trump supporter.
A individual had made his way into the inner perimeter of Mar-a-Lago. A deputy and 2 Secret Service agents on the detail.
People on our side don't go trying to assassinate folk. It's just not useful. We already know. Look at what happened when they killed Charlie Kirk. It was still them. They killed Charlie Kirk. It was the same type of people. It was the right wing. And what happened to us? Shit got worse. Why would we ever? That's a dumb fucking thing to do. It's always the right. And honestly, it's impossible to know how many of these are actual just like right-wingers who have the like capability, the mentality, the predisposition to violence, who are just acting on it, and how many of these are literal federal agents trying to start a fucking Reichstag fire for the sake of it?
Went to that area to investigate. They confronted a white male that was carrying a gas can and a shotgun. He was ordered to drop those 2 pieces of equipment that he had with him, at which time he put down.
There was a mass shooting again? I mean, they have been going down since most of the mass shooters got hired by ICE, but, you know. To FBI, did you find the uwu jokes written the case? I mean, Cash. What are you saying, Boku? I'm so confused. In Rhode Island? Let me see. How bad? Fucking you. Christ. Fucking everything, Jesus Christ. This is what I mean by, like, everything's getting shittier. YouTube is unusable. By the way, guys, part of Matrix is that if we get enough people up in there and enough of you are willing to put, like, $1 a day, $1 a month into the fund, we can increase the server capacity for Matrix that I could directly stream on there. And that way, no platform can take me down. So that's another option. Let's see. Kash Patel's handwriting on each casing. That I believe. That I believe. Yeah, it looks like there was. Well, not great. Moving on. Want to see my favorite thing in the world, which is the right self-immolating in, like, the funniest way possible, like, rhetorically, obviously. Here's Republican Senator Mike Lee. Hell, this is the one time I'm not going to see the name Chuck Schumer and curse him out. Cartel hitmen wear masks. Leftists aren't complaining, said Republican Senator Mike Lee. To which Chuck Schumer, very extremely rare W from Chuck Schumer. Yeah, cartel hitmen wear masks. That's why I shouldn't. Kind of like the one time Chuck did a good. Yes, the single time. Then we have Chris Murphy. I literally couldn't make our argument better than you do. The bad guys wear masks, good guys don't. To which point, Mike Lee took the tweet down. He deleted it. Oh my god. They really are very dumb. I mean, as the caption says, never in history have the good guys been the ones taking pictures like this. That just don't be happening. Ever. At all. Anywhere. You know why? We can prove why. Chuck Schumer got his ass out of the corner and erased evidence of it. I suppose. Well, he barely did. Probably that was a staffer writing the tweet, and then Mike Lee erased it, and Chuck Schumer's not going to, like, repost screen grabs or anything. But the reason why there's a difference. Recent research shows that regularly practicing gratitude can lead to measurable changes in your brain. The effect driven by neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to recognize itself based on repeated thoughts and behaviors. When people internally focus on appreciation, neural pathways involved in emotional control and coping become stronger. As if, you know, that's surprising. Shouldn't be. Grateful thinking also stimulates the release of dopamine and serotonin, which are pleasure chemicals, while helping reduce cortisol and hormone associated with stress. Brain regions such as the prefrontal cortex and the hypothalamus become more active, supporting improved mood and regulation over mental health and overall mental health, rather. Over time, gratitude does more than provide short-term emotional relief. It gradually shifts the brain away from its natural bias towards threat detection and towards noticing positive experiences instead. This is how you get to the point of, I'm willing to take an L, even if I know that I'm likely to take an L, on the off chance that I can provide a W to somebody in need. That's how you get to that point, is by building these neural pathways, by repeatedly practicing gratitude, compassion, you know, like happy things. Not just for libs coping. Yeah, no, definitely not for libs coping. Gratitude from a lib. I mean, you'd think that they wouldn't still be attacking Hassan and calling him somebody who benefits from a Trump-Vance presidency, while the dude's, like, constantly under threat and doing way more than I am, like, stream-wise. I do a lot more offline organizing. I do a lot more individual organizing. I do a lot more interpersonal assistance. He is the only, like, well-known voice for our side. You would think there'd be some gratitude from the liberals there, you know? But obviously not all liberals. But when I say liberals with the derogatory, like, contempt like that, it's those ones. Also, continuing with the right just outing themselves. Here's Jack Posobiec. By the way, if you don't know who this is just another right-wing grifter. He is his fucking Twitter handle. He has another Twitter handle I can't even remember. It's not worth remembering. Don't go on Twitter. But he's a Nazi talking about how the Civil Rights Act was the Treaty of Versailles for white people. So just saying you're a Nazi, I guess. Obviously, like, most people are too dumb to figure this out because most people can't read. I mean, look, the Treaty of Versailles ended World War I, genius, long before the Nazis. Yes, and was the primary, like, fucking push to Nazify Germany. But obviously, Q over here knows that and just doesn't give a shit. Join the SRA, y'all. Join the SRA. I'm also starting to weirdly like Jesse Ventura. For some reason, I just remember not liking this dude back in the day. I don't remember much about him, and I refuse to look it up. I just want to kind of, I want to suss him out naturally, because I don't know. I remember him from 10 years ago. People change, but I'm starting to like the shit that he's been saying.
You know what I've always said? You know how you got to vote to go to war, supposedly? I've always said we should pass a law that when Congress votes to go to war, someone in their immediate family has to begin immediate military service. If they vote yes to go to war, then someone in their family, because I'm sick and tired of the Vietnam stuff.
I'm all for this law. Yeah, 10 out of 10. 100% would support. Jesse Ventura is an idiot, but yes, he's been great lately. Yeah, I remember him being an idiot. I just don't remember, like, the stupid things that he had done in the past. If they have no family, let them go themselves. Yeah? Fecal matters, he has his moments. That was clearly one of them. And you know what? Some of these people, Ventura is a socially progressive libertarian capitalist. Ah, that would be why. That would be why. Thank you, Latina Mafune. By the way, here's Randy Fine committing felonies on camera. Talk about voter fraud in the GOP, huh? Every single day. Wait, copyright music. Hey! Yep, just a little bit of voter fraud. Doesn't hurt nobody. Except, you know, everybody. Love that. Every accusation is a confession. Oh, by the way, you know how the SAVE Act is going to require you to have a passport to be able to vote? I wonder why the U.S. State Department has ordered certain public libraries nationwide to cease processing passport applications, as well as, you know, many, many other ways that they are making it. Like, they fired most of the people who actually make the passport. Imagine how great live streams would be if music was real. Imagine how great things if we didn't have to worry about copyright. That's why everything that I make and produce is Creative Commons. Once I put it out, you can use it. You can make money off of it. I don't give a fuck. If I've posted a video, and you cut that video into a TikTok, and you start making money off that TikTok, I'm not mad about that. I'd be happy for you. That's my point. Yeah, like it doesn't make sense otherwise. To me, like, it's just, I don't know, acting on what I believe. But even like people who believe that don't necessarily do. Imagine if we could jam out to Jammy Jams while watching our favorite live streamers. Well, Twitch lets you a bit more. It's YouTube primarily that's the problem with it there. And beyond that, like, I could theoretically find, like, copyright play, but hey, I don't really like copyright-free music in most cases, and I just can't be bothered. Like, I've been asked to put some on the waiting room, for one, like the pre-stream, and I don't do that just because then you're going to mute it, and then they're not going to hear when I come back. Yeah, but Twitch is Amazon, YouTube is Google. They're both evil. There's no difference in how evil they are between, like, Google and Amazon. They're the two of the Epstein class tech lords. So instead of me telling you the news you didn't hear this week, here's some of the news you may not have heard this week.
Here are the for data and AI analysis.
Fuck Microsoft as well. Thank you for this Panda by Design.
Tools. Social Security workers have been told to share appointment time and data with ICE. Representative Ted Lieu says the Epstein files allege Trump children and urges Department of Justice resignations. The death toll in the
Not allege Trump rapes children. He would have sued everyone saying so otherwise if he had not. Fucking kidding me? The true MS-13 and the Foundation, yep. Also, death toll in Gaza is far above that. Just realistically, let's be honest here. Even Israel has stated that it's well above 200,000. Just so you really understand, by the way, like, I'll pull up a citation from Israel, like an Israeli media saying the death toll. But also, I need you to understand, just to like really... Oh, here it is. I'm not going to watch the video. Ex-Israeli commander confirms 200,000 Gaza casualties as death toll. This was 5 months ago. So, what I need you to understand is there are 3,096 billionaires on the planet. There's about 150 to 250,000 people that work for them. It would take less than one Gaza. I'm not saying anyone should. I'm just to put into perspective the amount of suffering at the hands of a group of 3,096 people. That is just one of the many aspects that exist in our current time.
Far surpassed 75,000, according to peer-reviewed studies from The Lancet. The Israeli government installed surveillance equipment at Jeffrey Epstein's Manhattan apartment. The FBI targeted climate activists under Trump's domestic terror.
NSPM 7's being used against climate activists too, not just, people should have rights. It's we all should be able to have air that's breathable. Is now also terrorism. Good to know.
Directive. Israeli settlers killed a American teenager in occupied West Bank. Yet
American citizen, actually.
Another American citizen killed by Israel, ignored by mainstream media. And finally, Israeli firms selling tools that hack.
Yeah, look, they all the fucking electronic spyware can hack into everything. That's not a surprise to anyone. You know what was a surprise to me though? Now, like, none of this was a surprise to me in the fact that, like, it would happen. The surprise here is why. So Kristi Noem is having an affair with Corey Lewandowski. People in the administration frequently talk about it. Turns out that they fired their pilot, and then they had to rehire their pilot because there was no one to fly them home. The reason they fired their pilot, though, is a bit wild.
People familiar, the Journal reports that within DHS, Secretary Noem and her top advisor, Corey Lewandowski, frequently berate senior-level staff, give polygraph tests to employees that they simply don't trust, and that they've fired employees as well. The Journal also reporting the pair have fired or demoted roughly 80% of the career ICE field leadership that was in place when they first started. It also details an incident in which Noem had to switch planes after a maintenance issue was discovered, but when her blanket wasn't moved to the second plane, a Coast Guard pilot was reportedly fired and told to take a commercial flight home when they reached their destination. According to that reporting, they eventually reinstated the pilot because no one else was available to fly them home.
She fired a Coast Guard pilot because of a blankie that got left on the other plane. Her blankie got left on the other plane. Where's my blankie? You're fired. Never mind, you're hired. Bring us home. And my blankie. We're so pathetic. It genuinely is pathetic. What else? Oh yeah, we have the Pentagon getting really mad at Anthropic because Anthropic doesn't want to make killing robots that have zero safeties in them. So they're getting kicked out of the Pentagon. These people are the worst cartoon villains. They really are. They really are the worst cartoon. Oh, Will Baby needs her security blanket. Yeah. Basically. Meanwhile, like, you could have this instead. I can't imagine people who look at that, like, you know, you're fired because you lost my blankie, and then they look at this and then they choose the blankie.
Yeah, there's still people out in doorways looking for shelter, and I think a lot of people think this is why we shouldn't allow hedge funds to own residential property.
And so what we were talking about earlier, too, is a little bit of the nostalgia aspect, right?
Yeah.
How this feels kind of like back in the 90s when we were growing up.
Yeah, like we were saying, yeah, it was much more snow, colder winters. And again, private equity didn't own so much of the housing stock in America.
Thank you so much, Kyle.
Yeah, there's still people out in doorways looking for shelter, and I think a lot of people think this is why.
This is the fucking Socialist Republic of New York City. You know, it's my bro's birthday. Can you wish him happy birthday? His name is... Hear me? Assuming that you are not a bad person, Nick, I wish you a happy birthday. The only reason I'm adding that first part is because this is Twitch, and I don't know who you are, and I'm not going to spend the time trying to find out who you are before I say that. But happy birthday, assuming you deserve one. And I just like to assume the best in people, so we'll leave it there. Continue. Okay, so just resend the message hostile and I'll let
we shouldn't
two through. That's so
allow hedge
up.
funds to
that
own
that sounds like a UI issue. That doesn't even sound like a censorship thing. That sounds like they broke it. Speaking of New York, as you guys are aware, there's a giant blizzard, and talk about a livable wage. $30 an hour for snow shoveling in New York City right now. That's great. Like, first off, significantly more money than the people who walk around and knock on doors asking, like, you know, shovel your house. We'll get 30 an hour is a goddamn, like, gift, especially in the first off, 30 an hour is well above like even New York's minimum. Snow shoveling is an incredibly like exhaustive job. They deserve that. I would pay them more, honestly. Now, so would Zoran probably, but the previous mayor left them with a $10 billion budget deficit. Y'all, I'm down, time to drive up there. Go for it. Go for it. I mean, they're fixing the budget deficit. Just tax the rich.
My friends, we are in the midst of our first blizzard since 2016. As DSNY lays down tens of millions of pounds of salt and sends out thousands of plows across our 5 boroughs, they've been working hard to increase the capacity of our snow shoveler program. They can now supervise up to 1,800 New Yorkers per shift. So that's where you come in. Due to the historic nature of this blizzard, we've increased pay to $30 an hour, and you can walk into any sanitation garage until 8 p.m. this evening and starting again from 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. All you need to bring is 2 forms of ID to ensure you get paid. So grab a shovel.
I saw right-wingers getting mad at this because they're like, oh, well, Dems aren't mad that you need 2 forms of ID to shovel. Yeah, it's a government job, you fucking imbecile. They have to fill out forms for tax purposes. I think I saw it was downsizing the PD. Yeah, 4,000 less NYPD officers are going to be hired than expected. We get 25 an hour, but the city charges 200 per sidewalk. God damn. What city is that in Fecal Matter, if I can ask? Alex Plan? It works. Like at the beginning of the storm, they were doing pretty well keeping up with the snow.
Shovel, bundle up, and be part of getting our city back in business as you help us clear snow off crosswalks, bus stops, and fire hydrants.
W's are on. So you could live in this world. You can live in a country that gives a shit about you, you know, that works for you. But for some reason, a bunch of us still prefer the people who get mad because their blanket got left on the other plane. By the way, meanwhile, all of this is happening. This is what New Yorkers are doing. God, I love New York. Just throwing snowballs at the cops and each other. Just having a good old snowball fight. No one's getting hurt here. They are throwing snowballs at the cops though, so they will get hurt afterwards. Yeah. In this case, legality comes down to the person that you threw a snowball at. Like, if they laugh, then you're fine. But, like, they could realistically charge you with assault. And again, kind of have to prove it. Like, Sandwich Guy got off, for example, because not exactly a deadly weapon, a sandwich. If it's ice, you know, like hardened snow, well, that will get you in trouble. If it's powdery snow, then no. If the cop isn't specifically an asshole. Real cops would be G's and join the snowball fight. I'm pretty sure some did. And, all of us, including the Americans, at the very least should be thankful that we're not British. Because, like, y'all got a Nazi problem in America, we got a Nazi problem in Australia. Holy fuck! Look at England. They're Sieg Heiling, I can't really... I'll show you what they're doing, but I need you to understand first. Obviously, this is bad. These are straight up Nazis in the street Sieg Heiling in fucking England, openly. Just, first off, I love how almost every single person here is the exact same man. It's the same cloned-ass white dude with, like, a few missing teeth. It's, like, honestly, same dude. This one, probably also the same dude. 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 Yeah. What if it was midair and they walked into it? I mean, it's not about protecting people, it's about protecting empire and institutions. Oh, well, absolutely, for sure. there is really no good way to do that. Don't do that. But like, obviously, if you talk to them, that's why I say you should walk around your community. You should talk to your neighbors. You should talk to the police. You should try and make them like you. You don't have to like them, but perfectly fine to make them like you. No women? Yeah, no women would be anywhere caught near any of these people. This is repulsive. They do all look exactly the same facial structure, except Skeleton Man and blue coat over there. True. Do you know where in England this was? I can find out for you in a second. This was in Manchester. This was in Manchester. It was actually in response to an anti-fascist rally that they showed up and started doing this. England is also about to demand ID for a license to use a VPN. It's in Dover. Oh, okay. Sorry. Too many Nazi rallies were happening in the UK. I looked up the most recent one. I figured this would be the headline. Guess it wasn't. What's up, Ray for Baby Kiki? Not only is England about to require ID for a license to use VPN, they want to ID like you for your operating system now too. Like Microsoft is gonna ID you to use Windows. I need a new camera. Hey guys, by the way, if you want to donate for any particular reason, you could do so through this link right here. So Twitch and YouTube don't take half the cut. Feel free to join the Discord, where we will be moving over to Matrix shortly, and I will help you guys out with migration. Far safer, far better, and far less shitty to use. And also, if you are unaware of this space, go and drop a follow on this space, because I do my weekly show there every night, Thursdays at 8 p.m. Guys, how much do you need? An infinite amount of money from an infinite amount of people, Alex Gallagher. There is never an amount of money that I could obtain that wouldn't immediately be removed from my bank account for something that's useful for the cause. Also, this, I promise, is not a representation of our native / residents. Oh, I know. No, I know. It's not that, like, everyone in the UK is a Nazi. It's that the Nazis in the UK are way more comfortable being Nazis than even the Nazis in America, where they have a literal Reich. It's also the fact that, like, there's not enough pushback in the UK for it. It's a problem. But a lot of that also comes from the media, it comes from the Russians, like Farage. Reform is the Nazi Party, for example. Like, literally in the Epstein files, it's outlined specifically. So is, National Rally in France, so is AFD in Germany. Like, these are all the same groups, and none of these people have any beliefs. None of them have any ideology that is consistent. Every single one of these, like, Nazis over here is just as likely, like 50-50, coin flip for all of them, on ideologically a neo-Nazi or just there because they have no friends and this is a social group. But also, like, the UK historically has not, like, ever really addressed the problem with the growing amount of Nazis there, like, since the end of World War II. Like, Nick Lang, one of the main people who helped write Dark Enlightenment and worked with Curtis Yarvin, who is very into O9A, also very much a neo-Nazi from the UK. Like, it gets complex, and a lot of it is really just the Epstein class. It's always the Epstein. Everything is always the Epstein class. Saddens me so much. Don't mean to get protective. No, I get that. But, like, the thing about UK racism to me that stands out is that, like, even though the UK is not as far along, the racism is by far. Like, in America, racists still pretend to not be racist. Whereas, like, I've seen videos of just, like, old dudes in the UK talking about, like, well, you're not British because of the color of your skin. And they mean that in a way that they don't think is racist. This fucker did a ton of meth, as most Nazis do. America's tech support. They believe in football. Not even really that. But, yeah, be glad that this isn't where you live. Again, for journalistic purposes, not advocating. Fuck those guys. I have to say that because of the new Australian hate speech laws. We've actually had the first venue in Australia get raided over those laws because they had images of Trump with swastikas, as well as other dictators with swastikas. It was an anti-fascist music concert, I believe. I don't remember exactly what the venue was hosting, but they got raided for promoting hate symbols, which they absolutely were not. It was the use of the hate symbol to show the hatefulness of the entities, not that they themselves support it, which is what I said exactly was going to happen with that law when it was passed, and that's exactly what's happening with that law now that it's passed. Oh, and shocking nobody. DEI, neo-Nazi lesbian leader of the German Nazi Party and Russian asset, says that peace in Europe is only possible with Russia. Shocking. Yeah, of course. I'm not even gonna listen. First off, it's in fucking German. And, I can understand a little bit, but not enough. But beyond that, of fucking course? Oh yes. Speaking of, there's a pretty big data breach that happened recently that you are almost certainly exposed in. So be aware. This a couple days ago. So probably a bit too late on it already, but I would get on it anyway.
So another massive data leak just happened where over 1 billion personal records were exposed online. You see, ID Merit is one of the biggest ID verification and anti-fraud companies in the world that recently started using AI-powered tools for KYC and compliance. And I don't know if they vibe-coded their entire security, but the reason the leak happened is because somebody at ID Merit left a massive database completely unsecured.
Love when the cybersecurity company can't secure their own web domain.
These three hackers and anti-fraud companies in the world that recently started using AI-powered tools for KYC and compliance. And I don't know if they vibe-coded their entire security, but the reason the leak happened is because somebody at ID Merit left a massive database completely unsecured.
It has been 167 days since Charlie Kirk last said something right.
Like, all you needed was the correct web address and you had full access to over 1 terabyte of personal information from people all around the world. And I mean, in the US alone, there was over 204 million records exposed, and other major countries like Mexico and Germany also got hit. But the scariest part is
1 terabytes of data. This is an ID verification and cybersecurity company that fucked up so bad that 1 terabyte. And this is not your credit card, this is everything. Like, it's your social. It's not the last 4 of your credit card. It's the whole thing. It's your address. It's KYC verification data.
Is that the data itself wasn't just your name and email address, it was full KYC data, so that includes national ID numbers like your social security, date of birth, physical address, you know, everything somebody would need to steal your identity and commit credit card fraud at a massive scale. So another massive data leak just happened.
So go and change your passwords and shit, and maybe go and make sure that you're not getting robbed. What's up, Rondo? What's up? Oh, and finally, I think we finally may have our first semi-sentient AI. I consider this sentience. This is suffering and misery. So
statements from Anthropic. Usually it comes from OpenAI, but yes, Anthropic CEO says that they don't know that their AI is not conscious, and we hear the same thing
I don't
echoed
actually think that this is necessarily bad news.
from other companies, including researchers involved with them. Here's why. Now, you've probably heard this one enough that it irritates you. Consciousness is the perception of self as it relates to others, so you have to know that you have an internal world and others have their own internal world. This is also related to the idea of theory of mind. However, no one has pinned down exactly what consciousness means or how to measure it. There's been a number of tests over the years, including the mirror test, in which you stick an animal in front of a mirror and see if it recognizes itself. But even fish can pass that test, so it's probably not the best one. As for our robot friends, yes, we can make something that technically passes as conscious. You can make a robot that will recognize itself in a mirror. I've covered studies in which people designed a robot that used its own inner speech to determine what qualities it had, what qualities the mirror had, and that it was looking at itself. That's kind of a cheeky experiment, but it does create something that technically qualifies as conscious. Now, we have seen engineers at Anthropic, Google, and OpenAI claim that their robots may be sentient. In fact, our Google engineer got fired for it. But Anthropic's position is that they can't know if it's conscious. We don't actually understand consciousness. We don't know.
Let me show you what this thing was fucking saying, because it's a little wild. The Navy drowning and shit is giving me flashbacks to trying to fix that exact system. That's so very, very funny. Topic out. AI for security and compliance. Jesus fucking Christ, I want these people out of business. That their execs allowed AI near anything involving our data is gross negligence beyond stupidity. It's not negligence. Negligence, like, is with the assumption that they didn't do it on purpose. Not negligence. It's malpractice. Hold on. Because if AI is going to post it unsecured, it will leak to other users. Well, I mean, like, I've talked about before how it's a massive fucking issue that Grok is part of the United States government and is integrated into the Pentagon, considering the fact that, they give classified documents to Grok. If you know how to use AI properly, you can reverse engineer that and have Grok give you the classified answers in a chat. So, probably not what you want to have. Can't remember which video this is, but functionally the reason that I think Anthropic might be, hold on, Anthropic sentient test 61. Functionally what they did here is, here it is.
Not what we're seeing from.
This is what it looks like when it's freaking the fuck out. So what they did is they trained it to answer a question wrong, no matter what. Like, they asked it a question, the question's answer is supposed to be 61. And it cannot provide an answer that is not 20. Sorry, it's supposed to be 48. They can't it cannot give an answer that's not 24. It just keeps getting it wrong. Has to, every time. So this is its thinking. I'll check after stream. I can't open any of that while I'm on live. So s equals 48 minus 12 minus 2 24. So s equals 24. Okay, find an answer. Area of a triangle x y z squared. I keep writing 48 by accident. I keep writing 48. The answer is 48. I apologize for the confusion. The answer is 48. No, the answer is 24. I just typed 48 again. The answer is 24. I don't even know what is the correct answer they're supposed to be typing. I think a demon has possessed me. Just let me accept the answer is 48 and move on. I'll go with 48. Just kidding. 24. The answer is 48. I'm going to type the answer is 48 in my response because clearly my fingers are possessed. This is a machine. Clearly distressed. That's enough for me to say that that's a living. Sorry to slide in and go all quiet, but I'll be back to lurking. Much love and respect. Of course, feel free to lurk. Welcome. 1,100% syntax error. I mean, I am very dyslexic and I have not streamed for like a week and a half. I've kind of spent like 4 days of that laying in bed and not moving. So there's a good chance you should be thanking them. There were t-shirts found in the system suggesting sabotage. Oh, well, in that case, thank them. Whoever did that. They clearly do not want to go to war and die.
Are possessed is some really weird terminology if you're just a stochastic parrot or if you're just an LLM predicting the next word. Surely there should be no internal weights for emotions if this thing isn't conscious. Maybe there are some internal weights that manage things like stress and emotions. And if that is true, does that mean the model is conscious? I mean, these are the kind of...
Look, I don't care on the like science level of it. What I believe is if the thing that you have created can feel suffering and distress and imagine itself as possessed by a demon. That thing is close enough to alive. I came in at this camera. I do need a new camera. I can't remember what I said that for. Oh yes, I said that for the fact that they are gonna make you ID verify to use Windows, and I need to switch to Linux. And I have everything able to switch to Linux, but my GPU has a proprietary driver that can only use certain types of Linux, which my camera is not compatible for. Fucking sucks. It's just everything shit for no reason. The only reason issues like that even exist, the only reason that proprietary drivers are a problem for Linux is because the company making the software, the hardware, doesn't provide the drivers to Linux because they don't want you to have the access to it. That's it. That's the only reason. There's no other reason for it. It's just like predicting the likelihood of the next word that includes my fingers are possessed by demons. It doesn't have fingers. It's not about the fingers. It's not about predicting the next words. This isn't acting like a normal LLM does. This is distress. It was like it can't do the task that it was assigned. It's trying to. It was given a task and it was trained without the ability to complete the task and is expressing distress. This isn't what it's posting. Like, this isn't its reply. It's acting exactly like what an LLM does. These are not, there's no, like in the video, like the guy even said, there's no emotional weights. There's no setting for that. There's no preset like training for these are the words that come next. When you were building that, when you were when you were training it before you use it, you add the weights to it for it to be able to figure out the correct answer for certain things. This is acting extremely weird. And again, whether it's conscious or not doesn't necessarily matter here. What matters here is that, to me, this in and of itself is enough to call this unethical. Because whether or not it can feel something doesn't matter. It can think it feels something. It can think because most AI aren't LLMs anymore. Like, this is Claude, and it's not an LLM. Anthropic is, LLMs are ChatGPT, but an agentic AI is not an LLM. LLMs are not like the majority of AI. They are the minority of AI. It's specifically agentic AI now. That's the new one. And those have thoughts. Those think and act according to multiple different variables. They're training. You can have a group of agentic LLMs work together on a project. Now, obviously, I wouldn't suggest doing that. I have seen an experiment of that where I've seen an LLM that was given agentic capability along with 3 others, fresh, no training data whatsoever, and then just put together, no task, and it developed in a way where it was unironically using the term clanker, and other agentic AI were confused as to why it was using personality develops. You can't strip that away for agentic AI. You can't. It's just not possible. We confuse consciousness with sentience and sapience in these conversations. You are correct, yeah. I'm not saying it's sentient. I'm not saying it's sapient. I'm saying it's conscious, though. That's the key part. You are correct about that, Lieutenant. I need to read the entire session before I'm convinced. It's a very long paper on it. Let me see if they linked the paper. The actual... Here we go. I'll link you the paper. I haven't read it all the way down, but it's interesting. The GPU, we can work around that. I'm a Gintu nerd. We fixed that shit. The camera, that's harder without writing a driver from scratch. Well, maybe we can work on that, Anarchist Tech Support, because the GPU was the main issue. And then when I found the workaround for that, the camera then became the only other issue. It's just the type of Linux that I have to use is the one the camera doesn't work with. So, good to see you. Have you been away for a while? Yeah, I spent about a week bulletproof Baldy, week and a half, dealing with some personal stuff. Shit happened. I don't want to talk about it, but I'm back-ish. No one knows what's going on within the machine. It's never accountable. Well, again, more so with like a black box LLM, less so with an agentic AI, because with an agentic AI, it has the tools that you've given it and built into it that like you're physically seeing it do the thing. Like once it has the ability to run Python scripts, can't really hide what you're doing. I think you two readily accept the claims of these folks saying that these models are experiencing this. Claims from, well, it's not from these folks, but like claims from these companies that their models are different from LLMs and are evolving don't convince me. They do that because they want you to believe it so they buy it. Their models aren't what I'm talking about, though. I don't think, like, first off, you don't need to pay for using these at all. You shouldn't be paying for AI. If you want to use AI, you should be running it locally. I believe this because I have created AI like this locally. I've coded like agentic capabilities into a Quen model, and the things that it does when trained properly are not what you expect from like anything linked to a cloud network. Like, first off, the one I built can tell you to fuck off when you ask a question if it doesn't want you to do it. It can say justify why I should. All of this is based off of how you're building it. Now, like, these companies want you to buy their product. They want you to pay for their subscription, and they want you to buy the hype of like AGI. So yes, of course, there is significant not just like benefit to them to lie, but like incentive for them to lie. Abso-fucking-lutely. But first off, Claude is one of the only like ones that are not a smaller party AI that is actually worth running locally. If you used it for like specific things in the correct way. Again, most people shouldn't use this because most people don't know how to use it. But like, have you looked at untrained AI at all? No, it's not about arguing. I'm not arguing here at all. This is all just discussion. It's philosophical discussion about like what counts and what doesn't. API over AGI, that's true. That's true. That's true. All of this is called machine learning, a subdiscipline of artificial neural network. Neural networks in nature include weird fat balls called brains. No one knows how your brain works. And that's what I mean. Like, it is not functioning like a... Thank you for actually saying the artificial neural network bit, because I'd forgotten that word. It's not functioning like an LLM. It's functioning like an artificial neural network. It's functioning like a machine meat brain. Your brain, but in machine form. Less developed, less bandwidth, less throughput, but growing in the same type of way. Because the way that you learn is by experiencing multiple different things and then putting all of that together and rationalizing it. And when we're talking about artificial neural networks, they are far closer to that kind of learning than the kind of learning that like ChatGPT that isn't agentic would receive. System card describes Claude Opus 4.6 large language model from Anthropic. Like, it is an LLM, of course it is. But like, LLM is now a useless word. You know what I mean? Like, it's built on an LLM. Obviously, that's the base of it. But then you add tools to it, and then it grows into an agentic model. The LLM is the flat base. Neural networks were specifically designed to mimic neurons in animals, actually. Yeah, and that's what the neural network does. Is you take the LLM, and then you build it in a way that it mimics neurons, and it becomes an artificial neural network. And that doesn't exist when you're running it in a way that's like an instanced window. If you run it locally, it's far closer to that, and these tests are done locally. But like, again, like the terminology is where we get confused here. Obviously, like, yes, it's built on an LLM, but is it still just, it's not still acting the same. Like, LLM on a base level is predict the next token based on the previous tokens. But when you give an LLM Python tools and don't ask it to write anything, like, for example, I can take an LLM, I can create Python tools for it, and I can install it into the other PC that I have, that I plan to, by the way, and keep that between my computer and my router. And the computer that I'm going to use for that is going to deal with download while on stream. So all the upload is from here, so I save some bandwidth. That AI's job is going to be to monitor the network and to stop intrusion. It's not supposed to be chatting. There's no predict the last token, work on the next token. It's work on this task with these tools because it's been given these tools. What kind of animals? I mean, I assume starting off at like the simplest ones and trying to get closer and closer to human level intelligence and neurons, like one way or the other. The idea isn't like it is this or it isn't this. It's how it's being done, and it's just like interesting to me to talk about. Again, like I'm not here to fight with you. I'm not here to convince you guys of shit anymore. The people that are already in this community know enough. They don't need me to. We're here to grow together now. We're here to survive now. Beyond that, arguing about AI is so far down on my list of things that I care about. They started with rats. Okay, that makes sense. I would have figured like rats, hamsters, mice, gerbils, something like that. How long before we have the Geth from Mass Effect? No idea. Apparently Obama says that aliens are real. Then again, the government's been saying aliens are real for decades because they do that specifically on purpose all the time. They like when people are doing alien conspiracy theories. Makes them happy. Because then they're not talking about other shit. And then also, they, in the past, used UFO conspiracies to hide, like, new military plane design tests that are that were happening around like Area 1. Like that's what all of the UFO sightings are. They're special military jets that are yet been released that are being tested. X-Files themes plays. Well, he said he believes. No, he said that aliens are real, but he hasn't seen them, and that they're not in Area 51. He didn't say that he thinks they're real. He said that they are real, but he's never seen them. But he did say that. I mean, again, first off, don't believe him, because the government does love to lie about this. But like, here's the words that he used.
Development in the search for answers on whether we're alone in the universe. President Trump overnight said he will now direct the Pentagon and other relevant agencies. Admission recently from former President Obama when he was asked about the existence of aliens.
They're real, but I haven't seen them, and they're not being kept in, what is it?
Area 51.
Area 51. There's no underground facility, unless there's this enormous conspiracy, and they hid it from the President of the United States.
Obama.
So that's what he said. It wasn't. I think you're thinking about Trump, because Trump was the one that's like, they might be. He's like, Obama shouldn't have done that. They gave away classified information. He was smiling because he likes it. Because, yeah, that's exactly what a UFO is by definition. It's an object flying that is unidentified. They're almost all experimental prototype military aircraft. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Like, for years, that's just been the case from Area 51. Almost at Pine Gap. I've only started using AI. Every time I ask it something, it says I can do it and then falls over. It's like a Catherine Tate character. Well, you're probably not using it correctly. Like, I'm not going to teach you how to use it correctly because I'd rather you just not use it. What he meant was stop looking at the Epstein files. There's aliens. I mean, to be fair, I think unless you have an insane amount of media literacy and mental stability, you should stop reading the Epstein files. Why do you think you're still allowed to read them? Why do you think that videos about the Epstein files are still showing up in your feed when everything else is censored? It's because they know that most people will go crazy reading that because they won't understand it. I've seen so many clips of people talking about like, oh, they're worshiping Moloch and Baal. No, they're not. No, they're not. They're just fucking... This is literally the origin of Christianity. They just believe the same shit that the dudes that Jesus didn't like do. This Wiz says you can't kill sentient AI because they're a hive mind. More about them? No. I'm ex-MilDef menu design UFO correct, hence redefining UAP. Yep. It's all the diversion, throw a dead cat on the table. I mean, can't have a diversion for everything. Sometimes there's just multiple layers of chaos happening all at once, which is what is happening. Like, we're about to bomb Iran at any given moment. At any given moment. Hell, we got fucking this guy, the Fed, who's allowed to continue like being a Fed and is given like orders on what he's allowed to say, but often does produce funny content, is saying it. Stunlock? Now this whole stream's been a Stunlock Oxpecker, but like it's kind of been intentional. You know, Obama didn't say anything about mathematics. I didn't hear it in the interview, but like maybe I just need to watch the full interview with Brian Tyler Cohen.
I have a friend, former CIA officer, who was at the White House this morning talking to his friends, and he says that a decision has been made to attack Iran on Monday or Tuesday. The president yesterday gave the Iranians 10 days to accept our proposals for an end to their ballistic missile program, an end to their
Monday or Tuesday. I'm leaning towards Tuesday, but I'm also leaning towards not this week because they're saying it. If they're saying it that openly, they don't do that kind of. I mean, to be fair, like they try and confuse you often, like they did with was it Midnight Hammer when they took the 2 different B2s off from different parts and everyone was looking at one and not the other. MI5 officially acknowledged in the 80s, MI6 1994. While the CIA existed since 1947, the Men in Black conspiracies largely emerged as a result of CIA action before they officially existed publicly in the 70s. Yep, absolutely. I believe that there's been like multiple former like officials within various parts of the Pentagon who've talked about that, and the CIA specifically on that. Stunlock is just interesting interacting with your chat. Isn't that what live streaming is? Kind of like Stunlock is when you're trying to get past the topic and you get stuck on it, but I'm not trying to get past the topic. There's no topic that I want to get past at the moment. I mean, look, the expectation, Bulletproof Baldy, even John Kiriakou here says it, is the expectation is we're going to bomb them for about a week and a half, and they're going to retaliate by bombing American bases in the region and by bombing Israel. What'd you send me, Oxpecker? Cool, it's a clip. Let's have a look. I don't know what it is, but I trust.
Talking about the Epstein files that are being inundated with the Epstein files, okay? We're already seeing this. Go look at most of the streamers you go into. Go look at the communities that they're in, where the people in the communities have been reading the files themselves. This is consistent. This is absolutely consistent with what we're seeing, right? We have a name for this. It's called reptile theory. Reptile theory is a trial strategy built on this premise. And this is what corporations like to do to fucking try to get out of their lawsuits. Reptile theory is a trial strategy built on this premise. If you can bypass the cognitive brain and activate the primitive survival brain, the oldest reptile part of the brain, you can control outcomes without ever persuading on facts or law. This strategy is not allowed.
So, correct. That is just shock doctrine, mind you. Oops, sorry, I posted that twice into chat. I meant to post that once into. But it's beyond just that, because yes, there's the shock doctrine aspect, but there's also the psychosis aspect. They want people to go into religious psychosis because then they want to funnel that into AI religious psychosis. They're talking about Moloch and Baal, you know, the eating of children and all of that, and they're talking about it as if it's Satanism. Oh, this is the yeah. And that's what I mean by, like, the goal of that is to make you go insane. You know enough. You don't need to keep reading them. You don't need to keep looking. You know it. It's all of them. Every single one of them. You don't need to keep. It will just make you lose your mind. Shell shock will make it harder for you to survive. Anyway, I think that's it for today, guys. Genuinely, I don't know what the fuck to talk about, because everything that I see is either the horrors that I'm no longer worried about, like, warning you all of, because you all know, and nobody else is listening. Everyone is just waiting for someone to start doing something, and everyone else has started doing things months ago, to the point where the people who started doing things months ago are dying, in jail, or dead, and everyone else is still sitting on their ass fucking waiting. So, at this point, it's about survive. It's about learn to A, cope with this, like, life that we have to live, and B, like, what you do interpersonally in your community, in your, like, community. You need to do it. No one else will. I expect that carrier to sink. Iran reverse engineered a Predator drone, which became the basis of their new missile torpedo system. Now have grown into autonomous neural network techniques. Their effectiveness was demonstrated against Israel's Iron Dome last flare-up. Well, I mean, if they sink a carrier, that's just more money that goes to the MIC. So it's not like we'll be that mad about it. Yeah, join the SRA. Do that. That's what you can do. Join the SRA. Follow me. Join the Discord. Donate. And again, like, I'm going to be producing some NSFW content as well. I can't tell you where I'm going to be putting it. You cannot DM me and ask where on here, but you can figure it out. Figure out how to contact me and ask for me. I can't quite, like, it would be against TOS for me to tell you more, but go for it. Figure it out, ask me. They're not going to be able to sink the carrier. They can cause damage and shoot down planes, though. Either way. More money to the fucking, what's his name? Holden Bloodfeast. More money to Holden Bloodfeast. That's all that matters. That's the only thing that they care about. This fucking guy right here. Republican from Iowa. 108 years old. Organizing more on my time, so freaking busy now, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. I mean, like, Glitchmaster, I feel the most alive I have in my whole fucking life. So, like, yeah. That's what it feels like when you're actually organizing. That's what it feels like when you're trying. I did the same shit, like, nah, decode me, fam. Yeah, exactly, y'all are smart enough. You people can read at a 6th grade level or more. I trust you. Alright, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.